What Lonzo Thinks is a wide-ranging, free-flowing discussion where I talk about everything from movies, politics, sports, religion, pop culture, technology, interactions, you name it. If it's happening, I'm talking about it. And today I have a special guest. I have Mr. Rasheen Thompson. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine, and yourself, young man?
Great. Thanks so much for joining us today. I do appreciate it. All right. So I was thinking a while back, or a few hours ago actually, about the world that we live in today and the way that we treat each other as individuals, how we interact with one another, how we meet and greet one another, how we just compared to the way it was, say, when I was a young buck out there in the streets, 20, 25, 30 years ago versus the way it is today. And I was just thinking, are we better off or are we worse off as a people in the way that we interact? So that'll be the basis of today's discussion. We'll just kind of move on from there. Now, first of all, before we even get started, let's tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from again?
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio, home of LeBron James, the Cavaliers, the Browns, the Indians. A lot of history out of that part of the country, man. So being a Clevelander, and now you're in the Atlanta area, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, so being a Clevelander and now being in the Deep South, and dealing with people, and just tell me first of all, get started. How's it different from that region versus this region?
Well, my experience, because I'm not familiar with others' experiences, but my experience when I first moved here, that term Southern hospitality was genuine for me. I was trying to get acclimated and adjusted, and people would be in my presence and become real helpful. They would offer their services if they had any, and their advice and their opinion. So for me, it was a nice welcoming.
Oh wow! So the Southern hospitality, I guess, I'm a Southerner, so I'm kind of used to it. And really, to be honest with you, I don't see it as hospitality. It's just what we do. But of course, I've been up north many a time, and I do see that up north, it's less interpersonal. People are more standoffish and less, you don't get things like eye contact. You don't get a hey y'all or whatever. So why is it such a disconnect between the way people act up north versus the way they act down south?
I would guess that it's based on culture. If it's transient city, people coming and going, the diversity of one city to another. That would be my opinion based on my observations.
Okay, cool. And the one thing that really spiked my interest is online dating. Now, online dating, you hear about it in the media, on television, things of that nature. There's a dark underbelly, there's a seedy side to it. But then you see the commercials like for, like Match.com and eHarmony. You got these two lovely people on the screen who met each other through this, and they get married, have kids, and it's just all happy-go-lucky and everything. But really, is online dating really that, for one, is it that effective? And two, is it very successful? What do you think?
Well, that, I don't know the numbers because I don't have that data. But my opinion is some of the issues that are out there that they don't put on the commercials is people being, one, if not both people being dishonest, which is, you hear the term representative. And if you know how to expose a representative, you can cut to the chase and you can meet somebody who is genuine. And the bottom line is, I think that people are not being true to themselves first, and they're trying to put up an image. Some people, not all people. And when you come into contact with somebody who is being genuine, or y'all both being dishonest, you're just not going to get anywhere. It's just that simple.
So how do you even get to that point where you meet? I know I've done some online interactions and everything. I know you see a person's profile. You might take some interest in their little their little bio or whatever, and you might hit them up and send them an instant message, and then you kind of talk back and forth, and you look at photos. You might share a phone number, and you might eventually meet or whatever. But there's always this underlying discomfort, at least when it comes to me, that am I getting catfished? B, is this person legit? C, is this person like a serial killer or or something, or am I gonna commit to meeting this person and and that person, she don't look like her picture, and then if she doesn't, then how do you interact with that person on this date? Do you just turn around and walk away? Do you diss them? Do you go through with it? Do you fake the funk? Walk us through your experience and going through something like that and how you handle it.
Well, basically, I think when people decide to do online dating or date period, they first need to look in the mirror and have a conversation with themselves and ask themselves where they're bringing, what do they want, and how to get it. Because in a relationship, in my opinion, it is a give and take. Monetary just means we do it for each other because we like each other and just because it's the courteous or kind thing to do. So once a person identifies with themselves where they're at in life and what they want, then they can be receptive to receiving something from someone else, because if you know what you want, you can ask for it. Or you can be receptive when you see it. And so I believe that people need to first acknowledge that they're attracted to their picture, because it's all about, for most men, it's about that picture. I haven't met a man yet that was like, man, did you see her IQ score? Nah, that's not how we operate. So once you acknowledge that you're attracted to the person, the next thing should be communication with the person. I believe that effective communication is talking, not texting. Everybody knows that messages get misconstrued through texting and can get lost in translation. So the easiest way, if you like the person, talk to the person. Once you talk to the person, meet the person. Everything else will flow. When people are procrastinating about meeting a person or even talking to a person, and they only want to do is text the person, that's where everything gets twisted. Because if the person is talking to more than one person, they're not giving you quality time. If you're talking to more than one person, you're not giving them quality time. So one of my sayings is, if you give one person 5 minutes versus 5 people 1 minute, you might can get to know someone.
Oh, wow. That's kind of deep. I like that. I'm going to remember that one. So let's keep it real for a minute. Okay. Online dating, social media, is it all about smashing or is it about building relationships?
I think it varies from individuals, because I believe that some people generally get on there to meet someone special. I believe that some people get on there in intentions of meeting someone special, but from my perspective from the woman, she may get bombarded with all these guys and realize she likes the attention and lose focus on meeting one because she likes many. And so her justification is she's trying to filter out that one perfect guy, but she might have 3 perfect guys in front of her, but because she's trying to juggle all 3 of them and not being honest with either one of them, and women, in my opinion, have all the power, because I believe that women choose men, men don't choose women. We select a female, but if she does not give us her time, which means she has to choose us, we cannot get to know her. So I believe women have the power from that standpoint. If she doesn't give us her time, I can't get to know her, even if I want to.
Well, I'm going to beg to differ there, because I think women do have the power unless the dude got loot. Then it's a whole different scenario. Because if you're a regular guy, like me or whatever, or I don't know your status or whatever as far as financial or anything, but if you're just a regular run-of-the-mill guy, just living life, and you're not balling out of control or whatever, then women look at you in a different light. But at the same time, you can be the same dude, same looks, same demeanor and everything, but you looted, then it's then you're in a whole different spotlight. You're a whole different, there's a whole different perception to you. So I think a man's ability to get busy with a woman is all predicated on his wallet and not so much on who he is, especially when it comes to online dating. Go ahead.
Well, once again, in my opinion, it's based on the individuals. So you have to identify the difference between a female and a woman and a male and a man. And so it starts with that. you have to know what your definition of a woman is, and the woman has to know her definition of a man, and vice versa for the same people. And the bottom line is independent, self-sufficient, honest, straightforward, loyal. Those are what I call grown folks. And those are what I call women. A male and a female are the ones who are dishonest, disloyal, inconsiderate, uncourteous. Those are just my opinions. But at the end of the day, some people are on there to smash, and some people are not. But you won't know unless you talk to them, listen to them, and then watch what they do after they tell you who they are. Because their actions will not be consistent with their words if they're lying.
I get that, but at the same time, like I said before, if you're sitting on a stack, there's a whole lot more than a person will accept or take from you as far as your shortcomings versus you're not having a stack, and then you really have no margin for error. Like, for example, I mean, if you're sitting on a stack, you can really be an asshole, and people will still want to be around you, for the most part, because there's a perception, that comes along with that. But you can't be working at Mickey D's, broke as hell and have an attitude. People like, fool, get on. You know what I mean? So I mean, because there's a caste system, in America, and it's all predicated on what you have, B, on what people believe you have, and C, what people actually see that you have. You know what I mean?
Right, and I agree to an extent, but here's the thing. When you first meet somebody, depending on where you meet them, they don't know what you have. So it's all about what come out of your mouth. And if you want somebody around you for what you have, like my grandmother used to tell me, you don't have to buy your friends. When people like you, it don't cost you anything. And my mother used to tell me, you don't have to pay for people's company. If a woman wants to be around you, it's free. So if you find that people only come around when you got the tab, or people only want to be bothered when you spending some money on them, then that lets you know right away that's not the person you want in your company. You see what I'm saying? If a person can't just come around you because they like the fact that you make them laugh, or they like your perspective and your opinions, then you just expose them. Because if you take money out of the equation, like I tell people, if you want to get to know somebody, take them to the park. But if they're basing every time they're around you, it has to cost you something, then they're not for you. If it's a nice day outside, hey, let's go on a picnic. If they got excuses why they can't go for a walk, if they got excuses why they can't go to a picnic or the beach where it's free, then hey, you might need to look at them and say, are you really trying to get to know me? Or are you looking for something from me?
I get that. I totally get that. And okay, let me put it to you this way. And once again, I'm not saying this is my line of thinking, but this is the way I kind of see the world. If you're a female, you could be the brokest female on the planet, living in the project, just broke, got nothing going on for you. But if you good looking, you fine, you can get any dude to kick it with you. But if you can be the brokest dude in America, good looking the whole nine, but if you dining out and you broke, you can be the best looking guy in the world, and ain't nobody want to mess with you. There might be there's not gonna be anyone of any value that's gonna want to kick it with you. But the most well off man will smash the brokest fine woman. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's in my opinion, that's because of stereotypically men are visual and physical versus mental and emotional. So, we just want, some men, I should say, wants, quote unquote, that trophy or that one that everybody wants but can't have. Like me, I like what everybody wants but can't have. I like the fact if I'm with a young lady and everybody's staring, that's stroking my ego. You see what I'm saying? I'm not a jealous man because at the end of the day, I knew she was fine when I chose her or selected her, and I was appreciative when she chose me. But that's just our society. We like what we're attracted to. Now, we can't control that either. I don't believe and they could be different, but I don't believe that a man can date what would be socially said to be unattractive females. You know, if you're not attracted to her, you're just not attracted to her. And if a woman likes a guy a certain height, she might can't let herself talk to a guy that's not at that minimum height. She could be 5'1", he could be 5'9". But if she likes him 6 feet and above, for whatever reason, she might just can't get past that. I don't have an answer for that. That's just the way it is for some people.
Yeah, I fully agree with that, because I mean, I'm sure, most men can agree. There's probably been episodes in their life or my life or whomever where, there was a woman where you guys get along and all the check marks are checked off, and there's just this one thing that kind of keeps you guys from going to that next level, and you just can't believe, that, I'm all this to you. We seem to be so perfect together, but but you don't want to be involved with me because my skin tone is too dark. You don't like, high yellow guys or.
Right. And that's the issues between us as grown-ups that have to be conquered. That's why I said people, before they decide they're ready to date, they have to have a conversation with themselves. Because at the end of the day, sometimes we stand in our own way of being happy. But you have to ask yourself, what is that that's going to make you happy? What is a priority and what is not? What is a must-have and what is not? You see, if looks are that important to you because that's what will keep you faithful, or if money is what's important to her, she has to define that. Like, is it the fact that I just don't want to be broke? Because everybody has to be independent and self-sufficient, in my opinion. And beauty's in the eye of the beholder, so when one person thinks it's fine, the next person may not. So that's why I said at the beginning, people have to have a conversation with themselves and identify with themselves, what are they needing, what are they bringing, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't expect more from somebody else than you expect from yourself. You can't be an ugly duckling but want a princess, or vice versa. So once people start identifying and being true to them, and also understanding that they're having issues of meeting someone or can't get someone, they have to dissect that, because if you talk to several women or a woman talks to several men, the one thing that's constant is her. She's the common denominator or he's the common denominator. So you have to evaluate, what am I doing, what am I presenting to not get what I want or feel what I deserve. So then you have to ask yourself, well, why do you deserve that? What is it about you that you feel you should be able to get what you haven't been able to accomplish?
Well, all I know is that if Jay-Z worked at Target, he wouldn't be married to Beyonce today.
I agree. In my opinion, I agree.
Jermaine Dupri never would have married Janet Jackson if he worked at Walmart.
I agree.
A lot of dudes out there, a lot of ugly dudes out there, who, got a fine, beautiful wife or whatever, and not because of what they look, because of who they are and what they do. So, that's the America that we live in, and that I think that's the crux of the matter, because when it comes to social media, it comes to online dating and everything, if you don't build yourself up to be, someone of some sort of value, then you're not going to get to second base. You just ain't. You can, once again, you could be working at McDonald's, working your way through law school or whatever. You know what I mean? Or you ride the bus to school every day because to work because you trying to save up because you want to buy your car cash versus have a car note. I mean, there can be a lot of different things that put you into your situation, but no one would ever give you the opportunity to really, to present yourself or show yourself, because you don't fit within what society deems as being successful, or someone that you should be seen with, or someone that your friends are not going to give you a hard time about. Because, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I know, especially when it comes to women, say, hey, I met this dude, this, and this. And one of the first things their girlfriends ask him, what do you do for a living? What kind of car he drive? Where he live? You know what I mean? You can say, hey, he's the greatest guy in the world. He just, rescued 10 children from a burning building. He cured AIDS last week, and this, and this. But they don't hear none of that. Where you work at? What do you do for a living? Oh, you work at McDonald's. Oh, why you dating somebody working at McDonald's? What kind of car he drive? Oh, he drive a 75 Volkswagen. Ah, you don't fool with him. He ain't about nothing. That's where we live in, man. That's just fact.
I agree, but like I said, you have to identify a male from a man, a female from a woman. At the end of the day, people have to decide what's important for them. Whether if some people look at shallowness as guys looking at women for big booties or long hair or whatever, women looking for height and money. At the end of the day, if that's going to make you happy, but you keep finding yourself by yourself, then you need to look at yourself. Because I don't have a problem with somebody expecting what they're bringing or wanting what they offer. But, if you're living with a family member and you're driving another family member's automobile or you're catching a bus, then why should that man have a house or why should that man have a car if you don't? Because at the end of the day, yes, women say or men say they can do bad by themselves, but if you want to come up, why can't they be on the come up? You see what I'm saying? As long as ain't nobody taking from nobody, I always believe I want an asset, not a liability. So if you're taking care of yourself and I'm taking care of myself, whether we don't have or whether we do have, if we're managing what we got and I'm not asking for help and you're not asking for help, we can still continue to gain with each other. That's just how I see it. But that's my opinion. We're all entitled to one, so some people may agree, some people may not agree. Two heads is better than one as I see it.
I totally feel you on that. I mean, and guys, we're just as guilty. We're just as guilty. I can flip that scenario and be like, we're kicking with your homies, whatever. Man, I met this girl, man. She's great. She's doing this, and this. I mean, and she's she's fun to be around. She's funny. Easy to talk to. She can cook. All this kind of stuff. And one of the first thing you do is say, "Is she fine?" You hit it yet? You know what I mean? Don't none of that other stuff matter. They don't know is she banging. So.
Okay, well, most of us, to my knowledge, a lot of men, I believe, work outside in. If we don't like the outside, we really don't care about the inside.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
That may vary, but that's just my opinion. Most women, in my opinion, it's all about the inside in the aspect of the way they define us, from my belief, is, like you said earlier, well, does he have a job, or does he have benefits? What tangibles does he have that can help me or enhance or further her life? And so, we as men, women don't realize how simple we are. Like you said, a woman can work at the dollar store, and we don't care. Because in general, we're raised to go out and get. We're raised to be independent. We're raised to get a job and make money and pay bills and just do what you're supposed to do in our DNA. Where, some women are raised that they want to be taken care of. Well, if that's how you were raised, then that's your prerogative. But with today's society, I think 2 checks is better than 1. And that's just how I believe. I don't put my beliefs on somebody else, but I have a right, just like they have a right, and hopefully you can find somebody you're compatible with, and y'all can move forward.
Okay, now let's juxtapose that against the races. I know, obviously, I'm black, you're black, and I know how our in our culture how we view this particular topic. Whereas it seems like using white people as an example. I mean, they come up together. I mean, I've seen it many times where. The man, he's, the woman has a good job. She's supporting the man. He's working his way through school, doing this, and this, and he's trying to get a business started or whatever. And she got his back 100%. I mean, they struggling. They sharing a car. They might be living, in a trailer or something or whatever. They might be, living in less than desirable situation or whatever. But they're working together. They're trying to come up together. And I can only speak for myself. What I've seen through my many, many years on this planet. I've rarely seen a situation where it's been that type of situation where the woman's working, the man's, he's struggling, but he's trying to make things happen or whatever, or vice versa. It really don't matter. And they trying to come up together. Because usually, excuse my French here, usually, it's like, that lazy nigga, get rid of him. I mean, he ain't about nothing. You know what I mean, or whatever. Where, but like I said, I've seen it. I've seen it many, many times. Actually, true story, man. I just had dinner just last Saturday with a good friend of mine, a white guy. He's in my age group, mid-40s. He just graduated from Georgia Tech, and his wife really kind of supported him as he, especially later on in life. Man, that's hard to do, especially school as expensive as Tech. She had his back, and they worked together. You know what I mean, to get him through school and everything. Now he's graduated. Now he's got a big job with a software firm out on the West Coast. They're moving out to the West Coast, and they're building together. You know what I mean? And I've never seen that in the black community ever. Not once have I seen someone, especially in our age group, have someone to have his back like that. Is that just a racial thing? That's just our culture, where we're kind of just it's ingrained to us to not have that crab mentality and not try to work together to build something as a unified couple, or is it just me seeing things in one way?
It goes back to upbringing, and I always tell people when you meet somebody, you have to try to understand their past so you can live in their present and possibly be in their future. That does go on, and I've seen it, I've witnessed it, you would have to ask every woman individually why they're that way for those who are. I have yet to see a black woman that was supportive like that. I'll give you an example. I used to work at a plasma center as a phlebotomist, okay? And the lady who was in charge of the center, her husband did not work. He was in law school. And she paid all the bills, his car note, her car note, car insurances, every bill they had, she paid it for 4 years. As soon as she graduated and got hired on with a law firm, she got pregnant and she quit. Okay? But I've never heard, not saying it hasn't happened, a black woman saying that, you know what, I got you. Get yours. I got you. I've never heard it. I've never witnessed it. I've never seen it. Not saying it hasn't happened, but I've seen that on several occasions with white women where they were very supportive because they saw the bigger picture, whatever that was for them.
Exactly. You nailed it around the head. The big picture. I think as a society, I mean, as a people, black people, we are myopic. We don't see the big picture. It's hard for us to see the big picture. Some of us do. I can't paint my entire race with a broad brush. I can only speak to what I've seen and what I've heard. But once again, we only see tomorrow. We don't see 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. We see, well, this nigga's on the couch today. He gonna be on the couch tomorrow. I'm gonna get rid of him. Find somebody who got something. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. You know what I mean? You nailed it with that. You absolutely right.
And so, I've been in situations where I've listened to women talk and they say, well, if he ain't working, he ain't gonna be sitting on my couch while I'm going to work, and if he ain't doing this and he ain't doing that, and it's all about, and it varies from woman to woman, but I would think, because I try to be transparent, I think some of them may be coming from a standpoint of they don't want to be played because they know their girlfriend got played or their mama got played, or I'm assuming somebody in their circle got played and they don't want to be the next one. So a lot of times men and women act out of fear or resist out of this because somebody else, it's never happened to them, but because it happened to somebody else. And not saying that the person they're in front of is that type of person, but they just got their guards up. And sometimes we bring our past to the present and we can't get the future.
I mean,
or we let somebody else's situation dictate ours and we ain't even experiencing it.
I mean, you're right, because
we sometimes. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I mean, you're right, because I've seen the situation many a time where you got that nigga sitting on the couch who ain't hitting no shit. I've seen it. You know what I mean? So it does create a perception. Yeah. You know what I mean? That okay, well, like I said, I've seen from the white community, I've seen that togetherness and them working together. But from the black community, I've seen that lazy bastard sitting on the sofa, not doing nothing. Smoking weed, eating cereal, playing video games, doing nothing all day long. you seen the movie Baby Boy, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that baby boy mentality where you're sitting on the sofa, driving your woman's car all day long, but she paying all the bills, you know what I mean, and you just being a big baby, you know what I mean. So I've seen it, and I understand why that is a pervasive thought in our community, and I think we've earned the right to be viewed that way within our own community and outside our community. Whereas white folks have earned the right to be seen in the way that they've seen within their community because they've shown and they've proven that they can work together to build something. Now, granted, I'm sure there's a lot of lazy ass white men sitting on the sofa too, doing the exact same thing, but we just don't see it. We don't see it like we see it in the black community.
Exactly.
And that has fed into this perception, and I think once again it permeates. You know what I mean? I've got a daughter. She's 13 years old, and obviously I'm trying to bring up into the world, especially when it comes to dealing with men and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, unfortunately, I wouldn't want to see her in a situation where she works her way through college or whatever, and she's on the come up, but her boyfriend's sitting on the sofa. You know what I mean? He better have a damn good reason for sitting on that sofa. You know what I mean?
Right. But see, people individually per situation have to use common sense, and obviously common sense is not common for everyone. But the bottom line is, if you're dealing with an individual and they had a job when you met them, if they lost a job while you were with them, you will know what happened and what transpired. So now the adversity is, what are they going to do now that they've lost their job? Did they have a degree? What can they do going forward? Because if they get another job, but maybe they took a pay cut, at least they're still trying to provide or still trying to help or assist. But if they just like, well, I've met women who have either lost their job or quit their job and said, I'm just going to chill for a year. I've saved up some money, which makes no sense to me. If you built you a cushion, don't wait till the cushion starts to deplete and it's at its low end. Now you want to find a job? No. Don't do that. But some people do that. I've met people who are like, well, I got a couple dollars saved, so you're going to wait till you spend those couple dollars, then you're going to start looking for a job. Makes no sense. So you have to take each situation. I would like that women would take each individual as an individual and judge them accordingly based on what they're doing. And so if you still stay and you see this guy's not trying, or you still stay and you're allowing this guy to manipulate you, because at the end of the day, show me the application. Show me the resume online. If that'll make you secure to ask him to show you that he's out there looking and he don't want to show you, now you need to know. I can walk away. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what color you are, what race you are, nobody wants a lazy person in their life. But you have to be smart enough to identify lazy from circumstantial. And he got degrees, but they're not hiring because he's overqualified, and he's showing you his resume submissions and all this other stuff. Then that's understandable. But if you just, hanging out with the fellas, drinking and smoking or whatever, and you lying about what you're doing, then sometimes you should have identified that way before you got to this point. So some of that, people just blind. They don't want to look at the reality because either they stigmatized or pussy mirage or whatever you want to call it. So once again, it all goes back to the beginning of, you got to look in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself. What do you want? What is it that you need to sustain what you classify as a relationship? And then what are you offering in exchange? Are you giving what you're asking? Or are you just trying to take? There's this saying I used to hear women say, some women, or some females I should say, what's his is mine and what's mine is mine. I don't understand that, but that's something some people have said. I've heard. So, you get out of it what you put in it.
Oh, absolutely. And I just think as a people, once again talking about blacks, we're quick to judge one another, but we're not quick to give each other the benefit of the doubt. No matter what the situation may be, we just don't want to hear it. All I know is you walking, I'm driving, you're not somebody I want to be with. All I know is I got a job, you don't. Kick rocks. You know what I mean? And like I said, everybody has a story. At least hear the story out, and then you kind of get more information and make a more educated decision on what you are willing to accept in your life and not accept in your life, and then keep it moving from there. But once again, I think it's a generational thing. I think maybe back in the day, maybe in our parents' day, so on and so forth, we were more united as a people, and more. I think the family construct was stronger, especially in the black community back then, where we knew we had to stick together as a united people because we were ostracized by society in whole. So we had to be more united as a people. Therefore, you might see more of a situation where one of the other is struggling, but they're working together to build something. So, but once again, in today's society, man, it's all about materialistic things. What can a person do for you? What have you got? And not so much about what you're about as an individual. So I definitely get that.
Yeah, and like I said, the problem is too, we all talk about communicating, but nobody's talking. Like with the texting and, people are out on a date, but they both got their phones out. It's like, what happened to put the phone down? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, people are spending more time trying to see what they're missing than trying to be in the moment.
Okay, so that gives me a good idea. That poses a question in my head or whatever. Okay, just think back. Okay, best date you ever had. Tell me about it.
You know what? At this moment, I can't recall. Well, actually, yes. I can recall. I met a young lady. This was the first time this happened to me. And I ended up proposing to this woman. It didn't work out, but we're still friends to this day. But basically, I was away abroad. I was in St. Thomas, and I was at a club. I got a headache. I was with some friends. We literally just got there. I had met this young lady. We had a driver take us, and the driver had just got there. He was flirting with another person. I was like, "Can you take me back to the hotel?" He was like, give me a minute. So this young lady I had been talking to, I asked her, I said, "Hey, can you just take me back to my hotel?" So she's like, "Sure, come on, I'm finna go with my girls." She dropped the girls off. I said, "Well, hey, can you stop so I can give me something to eat?" I hadn't been in this club an hour per se. So she stopped at this particular spot over there that was local. And this particular spot was like a trailer, so you had to order at one end and pick up at the other. Well, I had ordered my food, but I was standing obviously in the wrong place, and she paid for my food. The meal was $7. She had just met me. I had never had a woman that just met me spend a dime on me. And I offered her money. She's like, "No, I got you." I fell in love with that woman right there. Just because she had the kindness in her heart and just paid for my meal without a second thought and didn't even know me. And we became boyfriend and girlfriend before I left.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. And and I guess everybody has that one story where everything kind of came together, and it doesn't have to end in marriage or anything like that. But I mean, you can get greatness out of the most unusual circumstances. So I definitely feel that. I mean, like I'm currently in a committed relationship now, and truth be told, I actually met my girlfriend online through online dating, and we met on this website called Zoosk, Zoosk. I never heard of it before, but anyways, we talked a little bit. We chatted online, texting and everything. Then we talked on the phone for several nights, several hours at a time, and really got to know each other and everything. But obviously we hadn't seen each other physically, and we finally decided to meet. And I mean, the moment I saw her, I mean, it was just like lightning bolt, man. But we took the time to get to know each other, and we went through we went through the steps online or whatever to kind of make sure that we both were in a situation where we wanted to, further our communication, to where we wanted to physically meet, and it worked out perfectly. So I guess I can say I can be one of those eHarmony people one day or whatever. You see on the commercials, whatever, because it does work. But you do get into a lot of situations where there are people that you don't connect with, and you meet that person or whatever, and it goes totally disastrous and everything. So I get it. There's the come up and there's the come down when it comes to that. But yeah, that's the world that we live in today. We live in a microwave society where we want everything now. We don't want to work for anything. We don't want to put in the effort, be it a relationship or a job or anything. We want everything to happen overnight. We want overnight stardom. We want overnight everything. We want the food quick. And that's just the world that we live in, and it's not going to change. Sad part is, it is absolutely positively not going to change, because technology is not going to change. So it is what it is, and we just got to deal with it, and that's the good and the bad of it. You think?
Yeah, and then see, the bottom line is, it works for you and your lady because both of y'all came to the table being honest and being genuine and being sincere and being vulnerable for one another and allowing each other to understand and learn from one another. And when people start doing that, those people will have more success, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. I know we've been on the phone for a while. We've been talking for a while. And great conversation, man. Great topic. Online dating, interpersonal relationships in the United States and in the world today, and how we interact. I think it's very important, especially from a safety standpoint as well. You have to always be smart in what you do, be discerning. Folks out there, if you are dating or whatever, you're dating online, make sure you go through the proper protocols, meet in a crowded place. Make sure somebody close to you knows where you're going, who you're going with. Send them a photo of that person. Send that person's phone number, email, all that kind of stuff. Make sure that you're going through the proper safety protocols. Don't ever put your trust 100% in anyone, especially when it comes to online dating. You gotta be discerning, and you gotta be smart, so you don't wind up being a statistic. Because unfortunately, there's a dark underbelly to online dating. And you read about it and you think it's never going to happen to you. And the best way for it not to happen to you is to take the proper safety protocols. So let's kind of wind it up by talking about that. I mean, as far as the dark underbelly of online communication and the horror stories. You got anything you want to add to that?
I mean, I got catfished in the aspect. A woman had pictures on. Well, my definition of catfish is just not looking like your pictures. Where it's you, but it ain't you. In the aspect of a woman had some pictures of her, and when we met, these pictures that she had posted was 2 kids earlier. The person I met was 2 kids later. So to me, that was a catfish because, yes, it was her, but it wasn't her on the physical side, if that makes sense to you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we've been there before, too. So, yeah, I've definitely... like I said, that's the dark, seedy side of it. Folks don't represent themselves correctly, and then it might be the same person, like you said, but it's not the recent person, the most honest representation of that person today. I don't care what you look like 3 years ago. I don't know what you look like today. You know what I mean? So
exactly, because people have to understand, and I'm gonna say I don't know that guys do this, but they might. But because I look for women, I'm gonna say women or females. But the thing is, I understand a woman wants a man to know her for her and her substance, but that's not what starts the conversation. What starts the conversation is we like what we see, because the physical is what initiates everything. If we don't like what we see and it's not in a controlled environment, we're not getting to know you. Now, if we work with you, it's an interview or something, and we get to talking to you, those are controlled environments. But if it's just out and about at the park, the mall, the banquet, the Christmas party, we're going by what we see. I want to talk to her. If you're online, you see a picture. Some of us don't even read the profile up front. We look at the picture and read the profile after she responds. Some of us. So, sometimes women don't get that. They got head and shoulder shots. Then they talk to the guy. He finally meets her, and now he don't want to deal with it. But they have such a connection because you don't look like the picture. And, when you try to, deceive a man, some of these women got butt implants, breast implants, but what if dudes are walking around with penile implants or calf implants or chest implants or they want stacks to make themselves taller? Women would look at them differently.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, wow. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a double standard.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got the divas, like you got women who 5'2", but when they meet the guy, they saying that when I have my heels on, but you wasn't born with those heels. So you're 5'2", but you're like, well, when I put my heels on, no. You don't wear them heels every day, all day. You don't go to bed with them. You don't go to the gym with them. You probably just go to work with them and go out when you're out and about. So sometimes, like I say, we create some of the arenas we fall in. We create them.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, man. You nailed it. You definitely nailed it with that. But once again, that's the world that we live in, like I said, and that you gotta take the good with the bad, and just like I said before, be discerning and just make sure that you're making a proper decision. You're getting all the information you can possibly get to make the proper decision, and you can only hope that things work out for the positive versus the negative. So that's how it is. So all right. Hey, I appreciate you taking time out to speak with me today. Great conversation. And folks listening out there, once again, like I said before, online dating and communication in the new millennium is something serious. Just make sure that you're ready for it and that you're mature enough to handle it. So, folks, what do you think? Hit me up at What Lonzo Thinks on Twitter or email whatlonzothinks@gmail.com. Please comment below. Make sure you subscribe. Hit me up on Patreon. I do have a Patreon site up, so I do appreciate my Patreon supporters. Everything that you give me, it does go to good use, and I do appreciate it. So, I have a lot of listeners out there, and I really appreciate everyone who does take the time to chime in. I know my Prince reviews are big, really popular and everything. So I have more Prince reviews coming as well as I continue my series there. But once again, it's all about what not just what you think. It's all about what Lonzo thinks. I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot. Bye.